And the issues are surname as well. Sorry, if I didn't say surname.
Is there a dot or a dash between the for and mail on the email address?
No. 615.
There's a hyphen.
There's a hyphen after 615, and then CT, the number 4, mail.
Morning, this is cause number 2020-19054 in the interest of Adrian Hayes. All parties, please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do we have both parties here, Ms. Armstrong?
We do. Darla Hayes is the custodial parent. James Rask is the non-custodial parent, and Mike Gillespie represents dad.
All right. Hold on. Ms. Hayes, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Darla Hayes, mother.
All right. Sir, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
James Raft, father.
And representing the father.
Mike Gillespie, attorney.
And representing the state.
Toya Armstrong, representing the Office of the Attorney General.
And this is a petition to establish the parent-child relationship, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
We're having a hearing. Do we have any stipulations?
We do have a few stipulations, Your Honor.
All right.
All right. The first
Read them into the
stipulation.
record.
Thank you, Your Honor. The first stipulation is the parties agree that Mr. Rask cannot be excluded as the biological father of this child due to positive DNA testing that was done on this case.
All right.
The second stipulation is that the parents will be made joint managing conservator of the child with mom as the primary, and mom will be restricted to keep the child's primary residence within Harris or contiguous counties.
Okay.
Also agree that no one has access to private health insurance at the moment, so mom will apply for the government medical program for the child.
Okay.
The parties also agree that dad will pay court costs if Harris County so decides to bill him, and they will be due on or before February 1st of 2021. The parties also agree to a modified visitation schedule Mr. Rask will have to complete before going into a standard possession order. And those phases will be 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. for 15 visits. Phase 2, 3 p.m. Supervised phase 1, okay? Phase 7 p.m. for 7 visits. Phase 3, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 7 visits. And then phase 4, when he gets the 1 overnight with dad, will be 8 visits. And then dad will go into a standard possession order after that. The parties also agree that dad does have 2 other children living in his household, and so child support would be calculated at 16%, giving him credit for those 2 additional children. Let me double check, Your Honor, but I believe, one other stipulation was that dad's income was $4,853.33 each month before taxes. That was his gross income. As of prior to August 10th of 2020, the last updated income we got as of that date. I believe those are all the only stipulations we have currently.
So the issues are then.
I'm sorry, one
what?
more stipulation. I'm sorry, one more stipulation. The parties will do the exchange of the child at Dow Park, located in Deer Park, Texas.
All right.
Okay.
What are the issues then?
The issues then remaining are the surname of the child. The child's current last name is Hayes, and the child's 4 years old or 3 years old, and dad wants to change it to Rass. Moms want to keep it at Hayes. The second issue is what dad's income is. Since no income information has provided by the state and he's had 2 months to do so. So we want to do intentionally underemployment under the income that we got from his employer, that was reported from his employer back in August 2020. And based on that, the child support amount would be an issue based on the income. Medical support amount would be an issue. Retroactive child support amount and payout would be an issue based on the income. That's
All
how
right. Ms. Hayes, so far, is this your agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Gillespie, so far, is this your agreement?
That is the agreement. The dispute is what he's making presently. We're saying he's unemployed. They're saying.
No, I'm talking about the stipulations.
Those are the agreements we have.
Okay. And where were you, by the way, August 7th?
I did not think I was on this case. I'm not retained on this case. I showed up in court and I signed a recess, so I'm on the case. But I did not think I was. I was talking to my client the day before the hearing. We both decided I wasn't on the case. I am on the case. That's why I'm here now. I did not realize I signed a recess in this case.
All right. But we tried to call you and there was not answering the phone calls.
We have a problem with.
Concerned me.
We are half closed half the time.
All right, so the issues now that you're here, the issues are income, what his income might be so we can establish child support, and whether the child's surname should be changed.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Armstrong.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to call Ms. Hayes. Darla Hayes, is that you, Darla Hayes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what is the name of the child on this case?
Adrian Dennis Allen Hayes,
And how old is he currently?
4 years old.
And is that the name that was on his birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
And in the last 4 years, who has done the day-to-day duties for this child?
Myself.
Okay, has Mr. Rass ever been involved in making decisions for the child?
No, ma'am.
And what do you want the child's last name to be?
Hayes, as it's always been since we weren't married.
Okay, and what is your reasoning for wanting to remain as Hayes?
His brother's name is Hayes. My name is Hayes. Everyone in his family, everyone in his life that he knows is named Hayes.
Has your child has he began school? Has Adrian began school?
No, ma'am. He'll start kindergarten as soon as he turns 5 this coming year.
All right. Now,
That's the only name he knows.
Okay. Now, are you aware of what kind of work Mr. Rass does?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that?
Vaguely. He installs the telecommunications through hospitals, through schools, any type of intercom system.
Okay. And we, when we were in court back in August of this year, we were informed that by Mr. Rass that he may no longer have that job, right?
We were informed he lost his job the day before court.
The day before court. And since then, have you been provided any proof that he no longer has this job?
No, ma'am.
Any unemployment paycheck stubs as evidence from Mr. Rass in the last 2 months?
No, ma'am. I've not received any documentation at all from him.
And how long have you known Mr. Rass to be in this line of work, in this type of business?
For about 8 to 12 years.
Okay. Now, in the last In the last 51 months, has Mr. Rass provided any child support for the child?
No, ma'am.
And
Did you
so
say, did you say 51?
51 months. It would have been 48 months, but because the case has been reset so many times, we've had to add a few more months because of all the resets on the case, Your Honor. But
All right.
51 months. Yes. So in the last 51 months, has Mr. Rass provided any child support for Adrian?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And are you wanting the court to assess retroactive child support against Mr. Rast for those 51 months?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's another issue that we haven't discussed. Retroactive child support is an issue?
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought I said it that year. Yeah, I'm apologies if I did not. It is an issue.
All right. Okay.
Mr. Judge, it's not an issue. We have agreed that it's owed. At that time, he was making that money. The only issue we have is the 51 months or 48 months.
Okay, I'm not
That's-
quite understanding. It's not an issue? Have you all discussed this? Have you
Oh,
discussed
no,
an
it's
amount?
not an issue.
We have
Have you-
discussed an amount. I never got an agreement from the parties that they agreed to the amount. That's why it's an issue.
What amount do you understand that was agreed to, Mr. Gillespie?
We agreed to a monthly amount and months. We didn't do the multiplication, but we agreed to determine.
I'm sorry, do you have an amount?
I think the AG does.
Okay. I wasn't aware, Your Honor. The amount of retroactive child support in that case, Your Honor, for 51 months comes to $30,804. $30,804, of which I would like him to pay $150 per month beginning November 1st, 2020. And then payments will step up to $754 per month once the child emancipates, if he has a balance at that time. I was not aware that that wasn't an issue, Your Honor.
All right, well, regarding, obviously, we haven't decided what the payments are going to step up to because we don't have the amount of child support established
true.
yet. But is that your agreement so far, Mr. Gillespie? $30,804 at the rate of $150
That's
a
my-
month?
That's my agreement, Judge.
All right, so that's not an issue then. That's
Great.
part of the stipulations. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. Now, how do you have health insurance for Adrian, Ms. Hayes?
Through Medicaid?
Okay. And is that also how he gets his dental insurance through Medicaid?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, let's go back to Mr. Rath's work. Okay. Now, you said that he's been in this line of business for about 8 to 12 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Now, last time we discussed his income, his income by his employer was reported as $4,853. Is that right? Per month?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the income you want to calculate his child support based on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you said that, let me go back to something you said earlier. You said it that when we were in court the day before, he said he got laid off. Did that come as a surprise to you?
A convenient one. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Gillespie, you have any questions for her?
I have no questions, Your Honor.
All right. Call your
No,
next
I-
witness.
I call Mr. Rast. Mr.
Yes,
James,
ma'am.
is that you? Are you James Rast?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And so, what kind of, so let's talk about the last name. Okay. So since the child has been born, how many times have you seen Adrian since he's been born?
I've seen him one time.
Okay. And why is that?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay. Have you made any decisions for Adrian since he's been born?
No, ma'am.
Have you established a parent-child relationship with him since he's been born?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what kind of line of work do you do? What kind of line of work do you usually do?
Audio, video, TV, speaker systems.
Okay. Now, back in August, you were working for, what was the name of the company you were working for doing that?
NCS, Network Cabling Services.
Okay. And was that about your income, $4,853.33 monthly gross?
Give or take, yes, ma'am.
Okay, an average, sometimes more, sometimes less, but give or take. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have private health insurance available for Adrian?
No, ma'am. I had to apply for Medicaid for James and Lillian.
And you're saying James and Lillian, those are not kids party of this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, so we can't discuss them. Okay. Now, let's go back to your work. Now, in August, when you came to court, you stated that the day before you came to court, you got laid off. Is that still your testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and why did you get laid off?
COVID,
Okay, and
lack of work.
okay, and in the last 2 months, when we reset this case to today's date, we gave you 2 months to provide unemployment information, proof of laid off from work. Is that correct?
I attempted to, but it didn't go through, I'm guessing, but
Objection, non-responsive.
Okay, listen to the question, sir, and just answer the question. That's sustained.
Thank you.
Repeat the question again.
Yes, sir. My question was, back in August, we reset this case for you for 2 months to today's date to allow to give you time to send me unemployment information and laid off paperwork. Is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And since 2 months has passed, have you given me the required financial and laid off information?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I pass the witness, Sean.
Mr. Gillespie.
Mr. Rath, are you on unemployment at this time?
I didn't hear that.
Are you on unemployment at this time?
Yes,
And how much do you receive in unemployment?
I received 521 a week.
And you've been receiving this since August when you were laid off, is that correct?
August 31st was when the first payment went through.
And you have confirmed with the AG's office that you are now receiving unemployment. We did that this morning. Is that not correct?
Yes,
Have you tried to get another job in your field?
yes,
Have you had any success?
no, sir.
Are you willing to pay child support based on what you're receiving from unemployment at this time?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to increase your child support to your new wages when you get a job?
Yes, sir.
You understand that technically the AG's got to wait a year to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to waive that year to come back in court and increase child support the moment you receive more money?
Yes,
And you will inform the mother of your child within 3 days that you have got a better job and receiving more money. Is that correct?
yes,
And that's what you're asking the court to do.
yes, sir.
Is there a reason, Mr. Rath, why you have not had much visitation with this child?
Sir,
Is there a reason why you have not been able to have visitation with this child that's out of your control?
I wanted to make sure there was a court order in place so that way that I wouldn't, be stripped of my access to the child.
Thank you, Mr. Rath.
I'm sorry.
Miss Hayes, do you have any questions of Mr. Rast?
I didn't understand the last question that was answered by him in the testimony. I apologize.
Well, ask him the question then. What was the last answer that you gave? Mr. Rast, do you remember what the last question was?
I do, Your Honor.
And so,
He said he didn't see the child because he wanted the court order in effect before we got visitation.
okay, so Miss Rast, I'm sorry, Miss Hayes, is that what you didn't understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
I did.
So now do you have a question for him?
Yes, sir.
All right.
James, if the court requested documentation from you for 2 months and you failed to provide it, what assurance can you give both me and the court that you will contact me within 3 days of finding new employment?
That's the right thing to do.
That's not any type of assurance.
I understand that, but a court can also pull up and verify that if I'm working or not. And I'm sure that could constitute in jail time, which I'd rather not do. I'd rather just be up and front honest and let you guys know, hey, I'm employed again.
And the last question I had actually was for the judge, sir. On the child support amount, you had said that it was $150. Was that added to the normal amount or just period?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand that, Miss Hayes. What, are you asking about the $150?
Yes, sir. I was wondering if that was going to be the considered child support, or since the documents weren't provided, if we were going
Okay.
off of his.
Miss Armstrong, is that the cash medical support?
The
Oh,
cash.
no, that is, okay, I'm sorry. That is the amount that he will be paying, Miss Hayes to defray the $30,804 that he owes. He'll be paying at the rate of $150 a month, okay? You understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
That's
you
in
for
it. That's in
clarifying.
addition to whatever child support is assessed.
Thank you, Your Honor, for clarifying that.
All right. Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right.
I have a few more
Miss-
questions for Mr.
Miss-
Rass.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Rass, you stated in your testimony to your attorney that you were able to confirm with the Attorney General's office your unemployment, but that's not correct, is it? You never confirmed any unemployment with us, did you?
Ma'am?
Have you confirmed with the Office of Attorney General that you are in fact unemployed? Have you confirmed that with my office?
No, ma'am.
Okay, pass the witness.
Mr. Gillespie?
Mr. Rath, you will not only agree to notify the mother of your child of your new job, are you also not willing to notify the Attorney General's office when you get a new job?
I am willing to notify everybody, the Attorney General and her and Ms. Hayes, when I do get a new job.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Well, okay, my question obviously is, why have you not confirmed with the Attorney General's office your unemployment status? If you had 2 months to do that.
I'm trying to find the right documentation, which I don't even think I have the right documentation that they wanted. And the email address, I've tried sending it twice today and it still hasn't gone through.
And what documentation do you have, sir?
I have the letter from the, hold on one second, let me pull it up. I have the last email I got from NCS notifying me that my last day was August 10th. I have the, I guess, check stub portion of the Texas Workforce Commission for the unemployment and the determination of pay of unemployment benefits letter.
All right, you've not provided that to your attorney?
No, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to recess this matter until 1 o'clock so that you can, in fact, provide it to your attorney. And I suppose, Mr. Gillespie, then you can provide it to the AG's office. Is that correct?
Your Honor, we'll take care of that.
All right. It's going to recess until 1 o'clock.
And before we leave, let me talk to the AG, make sure I have the email address.
Oh, well, one other question I don't think was asked, whether he has any other children.
Yes,
Ms.
he has
Armstrong.
he has two other children in his household. That's why I wanted to calculate it 16%, Your Honor.
That was agreed. Is that correct, Mr. Gillespie?
That's correct. That's correct.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
All right. We'll recess then until 1 o'clock.
AG, give me in the chat your email address so I can send you what you're looking for.
Yes, I'm typing in the chat now, sir.
I received a certified letter from the courts that had all of the information in it the last time we reset. I'm assuming he did as well.
He did, ma'am. He's had 2 months.
I just died myself, so it keeps getting more and more time. Okay.
All right, ma'am.